I think what we cannot deny in this conflict is about the history of trauma, the levels of disturbance on both sides because of the use of violence. It is the use of violence that has made it so difficult to resolve this war. In fact, one of the things Hamas used to talk about was a long-term hudna, paradoxically, a period of up to 20 years without violence. And it is only without violence that people can actually work out how to live together. Now, as a result of my work sitting with Hamas, and I'm not an advocate of it, it's a very, very complicated story. But in 2006, when the Hamas government came to power, Ismail Haniyeh sent a message and found me to say to the Israeli government they want to start passing goods over the border. They wanted to begin to think very slowly how they were going to exist without violence. Now, the Israelis, because of the Second Intifada and the suicide bombing campaign, were so disturbed by that, it was impossible to imagine engaging with Hamas. So what you see is how the history of violence and trauma makes peacemaking so difficult.
I would argue that you are in a situation where Israel clearly wants to get rid of Palestine. It wants to annex Gaza. It also seems to want to annex the West Bank. And Hamas in Gaza for sure doesn't like Israel that much and would also like Israel to be gone. The only way you could solve this conflict is to have someone extremely powerful jumping in and imposing a kind of a two-state solutions. And this someone very powerful with a lot of leverage is in the US, is in Washington. And as long as you don't have a peace effort in the US to bring, to enforce this kind of solution, you're not going to have peace. And the Israeli will try, I guess, to annex Gaza to the end. So I don't see any good issue right now.
This conflict is not just about power. It is about the traumatic impact. And there are multiple voices in Israel, and not everybody wants to annex Gaza and the West Bank. This government in power might speak that language. But actually, in the end, I think it's a consequence of the violence that is so difficult to find a political solution.